delighted to be here with you, Darren.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank you for coming to Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
home of the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to ask you about the Open.
Okay.
What was it like to win the Claret Jug?
It was everything I hoped for and more. You know, with obviously from being from Ireland, you know, we would put the Open as the biggest major in the world. It is the oldest. Some people rank them in different orders or whatever, but for me, it was always the number one. And I had a few chances in the past to win it, couldn't quite manage to do it. But then, whenever I did manage to do it in 2011 at Royal St George's, it was a very nice feeling to get my hands on that Claret Jug.
What did you do after to celebrate?
Went in a bit of a bender for about a week. I got very little sleep and enjoyed all the things, the trappings that came with it.
So it must have been fantastic for you to see the Open come to Portrush.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. It was. You know, it had been there before 1951, whenever Max Faulkner won, and I know there's a lot of people involved in trying to get it back to Royal Portrush again. Wilma Erskine, who was our secretary, Peter Dawson from the RNA, Arlene Foster, who was our first minister at that time, and there was a little bit of input from Rory G. Mack and myself as well, trying to push it. And whenever they awarded it to Royal Portrush, we were all very proud, all of us. And then whenever it actually, you know, the week of the tournament, whenever it was there, it was all very real. And I think it was a wonderful week. The support and everything that the tournament received from all the spectators, and both the global recognition that it got from the audience and the players that all played there, they absolutely loved it. So looking forward to going back there again in a few years' time.
What do you think made Portrush a great Open venue?
Well, the golf course. It's an original Harry Colt. And, you know, the challenge is there. It's a very fair links golf course. If you play well, you can score well. You don't get too many funky bounces as you can get on many links places. You know, it's one of those old things that it's like almost right in the town as well. It's like right there. So you're not driving a few miles out of Portrush to get there. It's the whole atmosphere. You walk down into the little village, into the little town, and it's got a wonderful atmosphere.
What will it take to win the Open at Portrush, do you think?
Portrush is, as I just said, there's a very fair golf course, but to win it, you got to be in control of your ball flight. That's what links golf was all about, being able to hit it low and use the ground in your favour whenever you need to. It will give you opportunity. If the weather gets really bad, most of the holes at Portrush, you can run the ball into the green when the weather does get really bad. So, you know, you prepare for bad weather and hope for better. But if you are in the bad weather, control that ball flight. That's how you get around Portrush.
So you're one of four to win both the Open Championship and the Senior Open. Do you know who the other three are?
Sir Bob Charles, Tom Watson, and Gary Player. So it's a very elite group that I feel very privileged to be part of. So, you know, it was, whenever I won the Open in 2011, that was obviously a huge moment. But then when I turned 50, my goal and my main goal focus was trying to win the Senior British Open so I could have the pair. So I managed to do that, and it was very fulfilling. And then a few weeks later, whatever, it might have been a month later, I managed to have both jugs down with me in the Harbour Bar in Portrush to celebrate.
Brilliant.
So that was a special moment too.
So how do you rate your chances of winning again this year?
Winning it this year is going to be it'll be tough as it would always be, you know, with the quality of players. We're at Royal Porthcawl. I've played a long time since I played there. We played the European Amateur Championship back in the day. First hole without a bounce just over the fence on the left-hand side. It all depends upon the weather. It depends if it's going to be good or bad. If it's bad weather, I tend to like that more. I grew up playing in that sort of weather, so we shall see. But it'll be great going back as defending champion, and I will do my utmost to try and win it again.
So you beat Padraig Harrington by one shot in 22. Tell us about the other great stories you have of playing against Padraig.
Oh, we played a lot together against each other, all coming through the amateur ranks. And then, you know, in terms of what Padraig has achieved, you know, he's won 3 majors in his career on the main tour. And, you know, he's been a unbelievable player for a long, long time. And, you know, he's got a real competitive drive. And even to these days, the distance that he's hitting the ball is prodigious. Not just out in the Champions Tour, but you know, when he competes on the regular tour now, he's still top 10 in driving distance all the time. He works so hard. To this day, he works so hard. be very tough to find a more dedicated, analytical, focused person on the game than Padraig. And you know, he's his career. He's got into the Hall of Fame, and he, you know, so deserves it for the career that he's had. I'll see you at the 152nd Open at Royal Troon.